He stood by the bus stop, shoulders hunched, as the cold morning wind whipped through his thin flannel shirt. His jeans were torn at the knees, not because it was trendy, but because they'd been worn that way for years. His sneakers were frayed, soles threatening to separate. One of the kids walking by pointed and laughed. "Hey, look! Thrift store reject." The others joined in with giggles that stung more than the cold. Tom didn't flinch. Not anymore. He'd learned to keep his head down, eyes on the ground, pretending he didn't hear. But something inside always heard, always ached. Have you ever felt invisible in a crowd until someone chose to notice you for the wrong reasons? He was 63, not quite old enough to collect Social Security, too old to be hired anywhere that paid a living wage. He used to be a mechanic until his back gave out and the shop laid him off. Now he scraped by doing odd jobs when he could find them, cleaning gutters, moving boxes, painting sheds. Winter made work scarce, and winter was cruel when your clothes couldn't keep you warm. A bus roared by without stopping. The schedule was off again. His fingers, red from the cold, dug deeper into his pockets, searching for the last few coins to get him a cup of coffee at the corner diner. He found 75 cents. Not enough. Not today. Across the street, the high school had just let out. A group of teens loitered near the curb. One of them, a boy with a bright blue hoodie and expensive-looking sneakers, glanced Tom's way and whispered something. They laughed again, loudly this time. Tom turned his back, eyes fixed on the cracked pavement beneath his feet. Why was it so easy to mock someone you didn't know? Didn't they see the pain in his walk? The quiet in his eyes? Tom returned to the park the next day, hoping to see her again. She wasn't there, but he started coming every afternoon, just in case. Days passed. Then one Friday, she appeared, feeding breadcrumbs to the pigeons. He approached slowly. "I was hoping I'd see you again," he said. She turned. "You remembered." He smiled. Hard to forget someone who changes your whole week. They sat together. She introduced herself, Laura, retired school librarian. Her brother, she shared, had passed 2 years ago. Giving away the coat had been her way of letting go. But maybe it was meant for you. They talked every day about books, about her favorite students, about Marie. He told her stories about fixing engines, about the day he proposed to his wife at a roadside diner. Have you ever felt your soul thaw in someone's presence? She began bringing an extra thermos coffee with sugar, just like he used to like it. Sometimes they walked. Sometimes they just sat, watching the world go by in a silence that felt full, not empty. One afternoon, Tom didn't show up. Laura waited and waited. The next day, she checked the shelter. Nothing. Finally, she asked around at the diner. "The guy in the green jacket?" the waitress asked. "He collapsed yesterday. Ambulance took him." Laura's heart dropped. She went to the hospital. Found him in a shared room, breathing but weak. He'd caught pneumonia. When he opened his eyes, he whispered, "Didn't want you to worry." She smiled, held his hand. "You idiot." For 2 weeks, she brought him books, socks, a framed photo of him and Marie she had printed from a picture he'd shown her on an old phone. One evening, she sat beside him, and he asked, "Laura, why me?" She blinked. "You gave me a coat, your time, your kindness. I've got nothing to give back." She squeezed his hand. "You gave me purpose. I was drifting too. I lost someone, but in helping you, I found part of myself again." Tears rolled down his cheeks. "I never thought I mattered anymore." Have you ever realized you were someone's miracle without knowing it? He hadn't always been like this. He once had a wife, Marie. She used to tell him he looked handsome in his denim jacket. That jacket was long gone, pawned years ago during one of their harder winters. Marie had passed 5 years back. Cancer. Took her in 4 months. She used to smile even through chemo. Her spirit had kept him going, but without her, the world turned quieter and colder. He sniffed. His nose ran from the cold. He pulled the sleeve of his shirt across his face. The fabric was thin, worn. It didn't help much. Have you ever been so cold it felt like the world was punishing you just for existing? He walked to the downtown shelter, only to find the doors shut early due to understaffing. No warm cot tonight. His back ached, but he kept moving. He wandered to the park, found a bench under the barren trees, and sat. The bench was wet, but he didn't care. He stared at his hands, cracked and red. He couldn't remember the last time someone held them. When did people stop looking at him like a man and start seeing a warning sign? A man whose life was behind him, not ahead. The hunger in his belly fought the cold biting at his skin. He thought about the mechanic garage, the smell of oil, the sound of a wrench hitting metal. He remembered how Marie used to bring him lunch in a small thermos chicken soup still steaming. He could almost taste it, but now people walked by without seeing him at all. He was just another fixture of the cold, forgotten city street. God, he whispered, is this it? Is this how it ends? A wind gust carried leaves across the sidewalk. He closed his eyes, just for a moment, just to rest. "Excuse me, sir?" a voice said, soft but clear. Tom opened his eyes. A woman stood there, mid-50s maybe. Her face was kind, lined gently by years but softened with warmth. She wore a red wool coat and a knit scarf. In her hands, she held a jacket, a men's jacket, thick, olive green, new. "I couldn't help but notice you looked cold. Would you like this?" He blinked. "Ma'am. I couldn't. Please," she said. "I bought it for my brother, but he never came to pick it up. I think it's meant for someone else." Have you ever been offered something so unexpected you couldn't speak? Tom reached out, hands trembling. The fabric felt warm already. He tried it on. It fit perfectly. "Looks good on you," she smiled. Tears welled in his eyes. "Thank you," he whispered. No one's given me something like this in a long time." She nodded, then gently touched his arm. "Stay warm, okay?" And just like that, she walked away, disappearing into the late afternoon light. Tom stood there for a long moment, arms wrapped tightly around himself, not just for warmth, but for comfort. The jacket was more than fabric. It was dignity. It was hope. He went to the diner, sat at the counter, and before he could ask, the waitress smiled. "Nice coat, honorable coffees on the house today." He looked up, confused. "Lady in red coat, paid in advance. Said to make sure you had something warm." He blinked again. Twice in one day? Who was she? For the first time in weeks, Tom felt like a person again. Tom recovered, slowly but surely. Laura helped him apply for assistance. Her nephew helped him secure part-time work at a local auto supply shop. Tom moved into a small apartment the church sponsored for seniors. He started fixing bikes for neighborhood kids. He bought a second-hand coat and gave it to a man in the park one day. "Because someone did the same for me," he said. One evening, he stood with Laura under a golden sunset. "Life's strange, isn't it?" he said. She smiled. "Strange and beautiful." They sat together, her head on his shoulder. And for the first time in years, Tom no longer felt invisible. Has kindness ever changed your life? Tell us in the comments. Your story might be our next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. One small gesture can create a lifetime of warmth. Disclaimer: this story is a work of fiction or dramatized for entertainment purposes. While it may be inspired by real human emotions and events, all characters, names, and situations are fictional or modified for storytelling. This story is original and created exclusively for the Kind Story channel. It fully complies with YouTube's community guidelines and is intended to inspire, not mislead.